whether you need to make trades to get into the playoffs, or maybe you're in a great position already and you want to just trade for a player who's going to help you in the playoffs, we got some trade targets for you this week. People we are trading for and wanting to trade away. So Badaki, tell us, who was your first trade for target?
Absolutely. My first trade for target is Michael Carter, aka Michael Carterback. He's finally producing and doing what he can do, what we believe he can do in this backfield. Last week, 72% snap count, 11 carries, 8 catches, just over 15 fantasy points. That's exactly what we want to see coming out of coming from a running back. Okay, let's also remember that Joe Flacco is coming in now, which I believe is actually could help Michael Carter.
Dump offs, at least. I mean, there's going to be dump offs for sure.
Yeah, Zach Wilson just wasn't cutting it here. So it's not a sexy guy. It's not a sexy, running back that you want on your team. But if you need help, a plug and play flex guy, someone a low end RB2, why not go get Michael Carter?
I like it. A guy that could get you to the playoffs. All right, my first trade for target, a guy I really, really have been falling in love with lately, Jalen Waddle.
Yeah.
He's been heavily targeted. Look at this. In games when he's played with Tua, he is averaging 8.5 targets in those games. Currently, if we look at the NFL, his schedule as a whole, his season as a whole, even with and without Tua, he has the 11th most targets in the NFL.
Right.
There's a lot of injuries to this wide receiver core, so it's forcing Jalen to kind of be the focal point. Devontae Parker, Will Fuller, Preston Williams, all these guys have been dealing with nagging injuries. They could get healthy, but don't want to bet on that. It looks like Waddle, regardless, is going to be the guy. The connection with Tua is so real. You can see that there is each week a connection is starting to grow, and in the game script, they're scripting plays for Jalen Waddle to be the star of this team. Offensively, I think he is the best player, probably, maybe even defensively. As a whole, he's probably the best player on this team. The connection is real, and get this, when Tua has been fully healthy in games, Waddle is averaging 20 PPR points per game. So for me, he's a wide receiver too that I'm trying to get. There's a couple trades I'm trying to work out to get him in different leagues. So
yeah, I absolutely love it. My second trade for target is Jeudy. The time has come. He is coming back. He is here. No stress. Look, they need him. Okay. He automatically jumps into this wide receiver 1 role on this team. He's going above Cortland Sutherland now and Tim Patrick. They've been struggling without him. Teddy's been struggling. They need somebody. We know that Teddy is a pass down the middle, in the middle of the field. Jerry Jeudy's that guy, that slot receiver. Let me remind you what he did in week 1 against my beloved Giants. He was 6 for 7, 72 yards, 13 fantasy points. Okay, it was, if I'm not mistaken, he got hurt in the middle of the second quarter. He was on pace to do something special.
That could have been like one of the best wide receiver weeks in week 1.
Exactly, in week 1. So why not go get Jerry Jeudy right now on the low before he actually takes off, okay? These are guys that I'm trading away to get Jerry Jeudy. A Devonta Smith, a Corey Davis, a Hunter Renfrow, maybe even your Jalen Waddle.
I'm still going to lean Waddle. I have to go Waddle there, but I'm okay with the other guys that you mentioned. All right, my next trade for is David Montgomery.
Monty.
Look, there's an asterisk here. You only make this move if you are already positioned well for the playoffs, right? So if you have 1 loss, 2 losses, like you don't make this trade if you're struggling and really need wins right now. He was injured 3 weeks ago, and the report 3 weeks ago was that he would be back from IR in 4 to 5 weeks. So he's potentially back in 2 weeks. They have a bye week in week 10. So it's probably safe to say that he's back week 11. Again, if you need wins right now, this is not the trade for you. Let's remember who had a similar injury, last year. Nick Chubb had a very similar injury. It was almost a similar time period as well. 4 to 5 weeks off, same part of the season as well. Nick Chubb, at that point, I told everyone, trade for Nick Chubb. This is the time to get him on the low. That turned out to work really well. I see this as a similar situation. It's a similar injury. You've seen that a superstar can come back from it. And right now, people are very high on Khalil Herbert. I understand it. He's had a couple good games. He's still a 6th round running back.
Yeah.
And the draft capital that they invested in David Montgomery and how long he's proven to be a great running back, I still think that Monty comes back and gets at least 70% of the snaps. Maybe Khalil becomes a 30% back. But at this point, Damian Williams is probably the one who is eliminated from this backfield. The biggest reason why I want you to go out and trade for David Montgomery is because of his rest of season schedule. It is the best rest of season schedule for any running back. Let's not forget what David Montgomery did last year. The last third of the season, because of his schedule was the best of any running back, he was a top 3 running back.
Yes.
From like week 11 onwards, top 3. And he won a lot of people championships. He's set up to do the same thing, and you can get him at a discount.
Deja vu.
Look at his rest of season schedule. It's so good. Baltimore, Detroit, Arizona, that's risky. Green Bay. But look at the playoffs. Minnesota, Seattle, the Giants, and the Vikings again in week 18 if you play week 18. This is the best rest of season schedule. It's super favorable. Go out and trade for Monty if you can.
Absolutely love it. My third last trade for target actually is Antonio Gibson.
Antonio.
Look, let's just look what he's been doing. Not amazing. He has been up and down, inconsistent, but I have hope for him. Okay, last week he was hurt with that fractured shin. 42% snap count, 14 touches. He got less than 10 fantasy points, but they're still utilizing him, which means that I don't think they believe that this injury is as severe. So,
and honestly, just like the fact that he got 14 touches, only played 42% of snaps, like,
come on.
After the bye week, surely he's going to get healthy.
Exactly, and that's exactly what I'm going to say. Look, they play Denver this week coming up, but after the bye week, he's going to have time to rest. He's still going to be on a snap count going into week 8, but after his bye week, I think it's full speed ahead. Let's remember what Antonio Gibson did last year. He saw the end zone so many times. I think he scored 8 touchdowns, the most out of a rookie in the second half of the season. Surprisingly, right now, Antonio Gibson is a top 15. He's a running back 15 at the moment. And he's been inconsistent with his production.
Yeah.
I mean, if he gets it rolling with the production, he can easily be a top 8 running back. So why not get Antonio Gibson on the low right now?
And people are really worried about him as well. I just want to point that out. There's a lot of skepticism, rightfully so. But if you look at a schedule after Carolina, it's Seattle, Raiders, Cowboys, Eagles, Giants. I mean,
all division.
That's a very good schedule rest of season. So he's set up well. My last trade for is Rashad Bateman. I love this one because I love Rashad Bateman. He was one of my favorite prospects coming into the draft.
Right.
And I think yours as well. And he's super cheap right now. A lot of websites and, different fantasy sources have him ranked as like the wide receiver 45 rest of season, which I think is ridiculous. He's on a fantastic offense. When do we typically see rookies start to have a big impact? If you look historically, when rookies are drafted, when do they have a big impact fantasy wise for their team? It's typically after the bye week.
Right.
He's on his bye week right now. The last 2 weeks, he's played, only 2 games so far this year, but he's gotten 6 targets in both of those games while only playing 64% of snaps. This is a 90% plus snap percentage player. He's not going to be on the field for less than 90%. They drafted him in the first round to be an alpha wide receiver. He's shown great promise to be that guy for this team. Yeah. And it's quite obvious that they were slowly integrating him with this injury in the first 2 weeks that he could play. This offense, the Ravens offense, always known as a rush offense. They can't do that this year. No. They're not that offense anymore. Only Lamar is the only successful runner, in this offense. JK's out, Edwards is out, and now even Latavius Murray is out, which has forced this offense to be a pass-heavy offense. And Lamar is thriving. He's found a different part of his game, which helps Bateman's case. And you look at the rest of season schedule, second best rest of season schedule for a wide receiver, including matchups against Miami, Minnesota, Green Bay, Pittsburgh, and Cincinnati. We could be sitting on a breakout for one of the best unknown stars of this year's draft. Go get Bateman. It's not going to cost you very much, and you could probably play him as a flex going forward.
I love it. And
we're also going to give you 2 tradeaways. Okay, so my first trade away, I said trade for David Montgomery. I'm telling you to trade away Khalil Herbert.
Okay.
I think this is a very, very temporary fix. People are seeing the great games from him, and they're thinking, wow, could he take Monty's job? Come on, guys. It's 2 games. Montgomery has shown over his career to be a fantastic running back, so I don't think his job is in jeopardy.
I agree.
At most, Herbert's going to get a 30% snap share, so I think it's a temporary fix. His time is coming to end. He will remain the backup. He'll be the RB2, so he moved up the depth chart, but he's not going to be the RB1. Sell high on the great games and use the narrative. Hey, Monty's injured. Herbert's going to take this job. That's how you sell Herbert. Get rid of him now because it's going to be too late soon.
Yeah, I think a lot of people have concerns that he could be the Tariq Cohen and be taking the snap counts, but we'll see what happens. I do agree 30%, maybe 40% could happen. My trade away target is Calvin Ridley, and he's been productive. He's been getting his targets. He's been flying under the radar, but he hasn't been producing these massive, home run performances that we hoped to do.
Definitely not where he was drafted.
Exactly.
He hasn't brought that back yet.
And then I think that's the thing. If you drafted him second round, third round, you're disappointed, okay?
Yeah.
I mean, from week 1, 10 points, 19 points, 14, 15, 12. It's been great. It's been consistent. Once again, not those massive home runs. Why not trade for somebody that could be getting these home runs, or maybe that you can get on the low right now? DK Metcalf, he's struggling without Russ. He only got targeted 3 times last week. He did get that big bomb touchdown, but Justin Jefferson and Amari Cooper, these guys I would rather have over than Calvin Ridley, and that's how you sell it. Hey, Calvin Ridley is consistent. You need consistent points right now. Get consistency, and then get somebody that could be a boom player week in and week out.
I actually really love the DK Metcalf one, because if you can trade Ridley for DK and you're looking towards the totality of the season, when Russ comes back, DK is probably a top 5 guy, and right now people are willing to trade DK. So if you're in a great position, I'm actually really happy with that trade. Let us know in the comments below if you've pulled any of these trades off, or if you think what we're saying is absolutely stupid. Let us know.
Yo, what's good? Thanks for watching. We got a lot more videos.
A lot more.
If you want more videos,
watch it.
You can also subscribe
right now
if you want to.
You need to.
And lastly, don't forget that you can sign up to support the show and get exclusive content by going to patreon.com/fantasylandfam.